Trojan Sports Now.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Jahmal Kennedy.
And I'm Khadijah Torbert. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Troy Athletics. This past weekend, the women took the field for senior day, but first it was the men's turns to take the court, looking to snag its 10th win of the season. Once again, Jahmal Kennedy has the highlights from Trojan Arena.
On senior day for the men's basketball team, it was a tough one as they fell to ULM 66-51 in Trojan Arena on Saturday.
We didn't have much in the tank today. Early on, we played, we were into it. The game really turned late in the first half when we turned the ball over and they had a quick foul and Capola goes down and hits 2 free throws to take a 5-point lead, and then they have the 3-point play at the end of the half to take an 8-point lead.
It was senior John Walton III's final game in Trojan Arena, and he continued his great play of late. The senior forward recorded a game-high 18 points, the 6th time he's led the Trojans in that category in his career.
The thing that stands out to me about these two teams is as I look at the stat sheet, and I saw it in his energy, John's energy. The one guy who was physically and mentally, I think, tough enough for us to play today and fight through some fatigue was John.
It was a tough one as the Trojans are mathematically eliminated from a chance to play in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. The challenge on Saturday existed in both mind and body.
We've got to physically put it back together, but mentally, we can't let not going to the tournament affect how we prepare for the game and our mindset, because we were ready to play today from a mental, being ready to play, all those things. We were ready to play, but physically, we just hit a wall today.
Ironically, the difference on senior day, according to head coach Phil Cunningham, was the amount of seniors that ULM had versus the amount of seniors Troy had.
John, and ironically, he's our only senior. And they had, they start 4 seniors and 5 of their top 7 players are seniors. And they were tired too. They were tired just like we were, but when the game was hanging in the balance there, they were just physically and mentally more tough than we were, and that was, to me, that was the biggest difference in the game.
Wesley Person extended his streak of consecutive games with a 3-pointer to 58. Jahmal Kennedy, Trojan Sports Now. The Trojan men's basketball team did not have success against the Bobcats last night. Texas State defeated Troy 78-57 Thursday night in San Marcos. John Walton III led Troy with his 5th double-double of the season as he finished with 16 points and 11 rebounds. Wesley Person finished with 11 points and extended his streak of games with a 3-pointer out to 59 straight. Texas State used a 15-4 run over the first 5 minutes of the second half to build a 19-point lead. Troy answered with an 11-4 run of their own to pull within 11, 55-54 with 11:34 to play in the game. However, the Bobcats stretched their lead out to as many as 23 before the final 21-point margin, which included a 3-pointer by Texas State at the buzzer.
The women's basketball team got things going first against Louisiana Monroe, a team that defeated the Trojans earlier this season. Jahmal Kennedy has the highlights from the floor.
New day in Trojan Arena on Saturday as the Trojans took down the Warhawks of ULM, and it was senior guard Ashley Beverly Kelly's show as she scored 27 points. But she's attributing her scoring to something you might not expect.
I'm going to go with the hair, but I have been getting more shots up. Coach C has the guard shooting shots on the gun every day, so I'll give her a little credit, but I'm going to go with the hair.
It was a 74-64 win for Troy, but it wasn't just all offense. The defense played an important role in the game as the defense forced an astounding 23 turnovers.
I thought we didn't shoot as well as we'd like to shoot. We shot in the 30%. We had been, in the past, we lost games when we shot in the low 30%. But I think because we caused so many turnovers and we got a great rebound margin, we were able to come away with a win.
It's not all X's and O's that goes into the game plan for Coach Chanda Rigby and her staff. Sometimes it's about attaining certain goals.
We have an agenda we're working towards. Again, tonight our step was to get a lead and keep a lead, not give that lead up. We have steps we're trying to take in every game, whether it's bringing certain players along. We wanted Kristen Emerson to shoot the ball 10 times tonight. She got to 7. We feel like if people have to guard her, that's going to put us on another level. We have a plan for almost every player, and we have a lot of different goals that we want to meet.
With it being senior day, senior guard Ashley Beverly Kelly may have been pressing a little bit, but it was only a matter of time before the Sun Belt Conference's leading scorer got back on track.
I was talking to myself. I was like, God, please help me, please. And then I just calmed down, and Kate told me just calm down, and then it just came to me.
With ABK's career coming to a close, the mark she's left on Troy's women's basketball program has been heavenly, according to Coach Rigby.
She's helped turn this program around. You know, she was here, again, some people talk about our staff and, you know, we've done a great job turning the program around, but what we don't say and what the truth is Ashley Beverly Kelly, her infectious attitude and work ethic has helped turn this program around. So she's been a lot. It's been a godsend. We're thankful for her. We'll never be able to replace her. She's a fantastic Trojan.
Ashley Beverly Kelly was honored at halftime of the men's game on Saturday. Jahmal Kennedy, Trojan Sports Now. The Troy women's basketball team won their 4th straight game to improve their standings going into the Sun Belt tournament. The Trojans defeated Texas State 88-73 in San Marcos Thursday night. The win moved Troy into 4th place by themselves in the Sun Belt standings. Troy had 5 players score in double figures at Texas State, led by who else but Ashley Beverly Kelly, who had a game-high 22 points. The Sun Belt's leading scorer added 12 rebounds and 6 assists for her 8th career double-double. With just 1 regular season game remaining, Troy will either be the number 4 or number 5 seed in next week's Sun Belt Championship. Saturday's matchup against UT Arlington will help determine their final seeding.
A very unique team because they're very different from Texas State. They do have a 6'5", so they play a lot. Every time anybody touches the ball, they automatically look inside to see if they can get her the ball, if it's a lob over the top or just sling it right inside to her. So it's a very different team. It's a unique team in the Sun Belt Conference because they're the only one with somebody that size inside that actually plays a lot of minutes. So they present 2 unique challenges to us. So I think it's really good going into the conference tournament.
The Trojans were the ones that shot poorly in the 3rd quarter, hitting just 5 of 17 shots. But Texas State only got the deficit down to single digits for 30 seconds as Troy was great at the free throw line all night, making 28 of 33 attempts.
The Trojan baseball team was in action in Louisiana over the weekend, looking to improve on its undefeated record. The Trojans won the first 2 games against the Lions on Friday and Saturday, but Sunday would be a different story. The Trojans were handed their first loss of the season after getting off to a pretty good start, scoring 2 runs in the first inning. The Lions were back with an answer of their own in the 2nd inning, and from then on outscored runs in 4 consecutive innings, defeating the Trojans by a final score of 7-2. The Trojans committed 4 errors throughout the game, and only 3 of the runs the Trojans allowed were earned.
The Trojan baseball team dropped its first game at home Tuesday night to nationally ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. I have the story from Riddle Pace Field. The ballpark was buzzing on Tuesday night as the Trojans entered with a 7-1 record on the season, and their opponent, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. The record-setting attendance made for an electrifying atmosphere as the 2 teams went head-to-head. The Trojans found themselves on the losing end of a 2-1 battle, but head coach Mark Smart was very pleased with the play of his team.
I was proud of our team. We had the lead late. I give them credit. They had a couple of really good pitches that Skinner threw with the game on the line, and manufactured 2 runs there in the 7th to take the 2-1 lead, and then their bullpen at the end was able to protect that lead.
Much like last week's matchup with UAB, Troy was locked into another pitcher's duel as Troy's Corey Gill took the hill against Alabama's southpaw John Keller. The Trojans struck first in the 3rd inning on a single into right center by Trevor Davis, but that would be all Troy could manage. After the game, Coach Smart talked about whether the middle of his lineup may be pressing just a bit.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the big hit when we needed to. We couldn't cash in. We had a guy in scoring position in the 8th, and he made 3 great pitches to one of our better hitters and got him out of there. And then he cruised through the 9th. But we just got to find a way somebody's got to get that big hit to take the monkey off the back, as it were.
Alabama got 2 runs to take the lead in the top of the 8th. One after this fielder's choice, and then 2 batters later, Alabama's Chance Vincent singled this pitch into right off of Mark Skinner to give the Tide all the runs they would need. Mark Skinner took the loss in relief for Troy, his first of the season. An attendance record of 3,243 in Riddle Pace Field was set in Tuesday night's contest. Jahmal Kennedy, Trojan Sports Now. Troy had 3 players record multi-hit nights, and the pitching staff as a whole recorded 13 strikeouts.
The baseball team fought hard Wednesday night against UAB but fell to the Blazers 7-0. A 4-run 2nd inning highlighted by a 2-run double by UAB's Blake Johnson led the way for the Blazers. The Trojans scraped together only 2 hits on the night and none after the 5th inning. Freshman Zach Lightsey took the loss for Troy, only lasting an inning and a 3rd. This loss came 1 week after Lightsey picked up his first collegiate victory against UAB last Wednesday. Overall, the Trojans have now lost 3 games in a row. Sophomore Brody Biner recorded the only extra base hit on the night for the Trojans with a double in the 5th inning.
We had a lot of Trojan sports over the weekend. The baseball team was in action in Louisiana, and the basketball teams took the court in Trojan Arena, but only one team went undefeated. Khadijah Torbert has the details from the Troy softball complex.
The softball team over the weekend took on some pretty tough teams but came out on top. Friday, to begin the tournament, they competed against Dayton, winning 7-3. Saturday, the Trojans had a doubleheader and once again took on Dayton and won 3-2, and Missouri State following that game in a 5-2 victory. And to close out the tournament, Troy played Austin Peay and Mercer, and well, you know the rest.
I thought it went great. I mean, I thought all the teams that were a part of this were great quality teams, and there were a lot of great games. And I thought some of the games were a little better than others, but in the end, we found a way to win. So very happy about this weekend.
Sunday, the Trojans got off to a rocky start against both Austin Peay and Mercer, not scoring until the third inning. But Hannah Day, Stephanie Snyder, and Amanda Winters pulled through for the Trojans, scoring home runs with base-clearing doubles.
We teach them all the time, like, you know, hitting's one of the hardest things to do in sport, if not the hardest. And you're not going to be successful every time, but you got to give yourself a shot. That's half the battle, is knowing you're good. But I thought we did a great job of just sticking with it and having quality at bats, and eventually, you know, it came through for us. We always have the late innings, and we always have a fight and finish mentality. So, you know, we always have that in our back pocket.
It's the last day of the Trojan Warrior tournament, but the season is far from over. Even with coach ejections and pitch changes from the other team, the Trojans still managed to finish the tournament 5-0.
Yeah, we talk about just not going on a roller coaster ride. Like, it'd be easy to get all hyped up and really excited, and we just talk about, you know, just breathing, staying calm, and just one pitch at a time and acting like we've been there before. So I thought they did a great job. I mean, Hannah Day, you know, come in there and, you know, hit a home run on a new pitcher that was throwing, I mean, really hard. And for her, that's a win. Obviously, I'm happy to be 5-0. I mean, you can't complain about that.
With 5 wins over the weekend, the Trojans now stand at a record of 12-4 on the season.
Fatima Fernandez Cano fired a 3 under 69 to lead the Troy women's golf team in Sunday's opening round of the Kiowa Island Spring Classic at the Kiowa Island Golf Club. Cano quickly raced out to 3 under par after the first 6 holes as she birdied the 12th, 15th, and 16th holes. The Trojans shot a 9/6 as a team on Sunday and found themselves just 7 shots back of College of the Charleston for second place. Troy will open its second round today, and the Trojans will be paired with Mercer and Southern Miss.
The Troy men's tennis team played and dominated its first Sun Belt Conference opponent last week. The Trojans took down the Cajuns of ULL 4-2. Troy dropped its doubles point, but it rebounded nicely in singles to take the overall competition. Daniel Bustamante brought the Trojans back to within 1 match before Pablo Marino tied the match at 2-all. The win marked Marino's 5th straight. Giovanni Samaha won in straight sets 7-5 and 6-3, and Mustafa Belcour brought it home for the Trojans with a 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 win.
The men's tennis team won their second match in a row when they blanked New Orleans in a 7-0 victory. The Trojans saw success all over the court as the pair of doubles teams won their matches and singles swept their matches as well. Mustafa Belcour was the first to win in singles, winning in straight set fashion 6-2 and 6-2. Pablo Marino and Andy Liu won in straight sets as well for Troy. The best sign of the day came when Hassana Dashamayi, Troy's top returning player from last year, won his singles match 6-3 and 7-6.
After playing 12 matches on the road to open this season and also winning its last 2 matches after starting the season with 9 of its first 10 matches against a ranked team, the Troy men's tennis team has opened its home schedule playing against Chattanooga today. Chattanooga is coming off a 7-0 loss to Eastern Kentucky last weekend, and the team is looking for a win against them and are currently in action at the Lunsford Tennis Complex.
The Troy women's tennis team closed a 3-match homestand with a 5-2 win over in-state rival UAB on Saturday at the Lunsford Tennis Complex. Despite dropping the first match at number 1, Troy's duo of Guana Zhu and Euphrilia Carlina won at number 2, 6-4 to even the score. Sena Omata and Nacy Kirky then gutted out a 7 win at number 3 to win the opening point. Troy is back in action on Sunday in Fort Walton Beach, Florida to play against Mercer and Louisiana Monroe. Still to come on Trojan Sports Now, we'll have a preview of the Trojan men and women's basketball matchups against UT Arlington to close out the regular season games.
The first round Renfro sits down with senior softball catcher and outfielder Hannah Day. Stick around for more Trojan Sports Now.